Hello everybody, welcome to the shed again. Before I start, a very exciting piece of post through the parcel through the post. Check it out. Look at this. Contestant's t-shirt. There it is. Boom! It's official. At least I hope it is. I don't know if this makes it official. If it's not official, then I'm going through a hell of a lot of effort for nothing. Anyway, welcome to what is episode 4 for the Great Guitar Build Off and episode 14 for the channel. Welcome back to people that have been subscribing, and thank you very much for your support. Very much appreciated, and I hope you've been enjoying the content. And welcome if this is the first video you've seen. Hopefully it won't be the last one. Right, it's a bit of a longer video, I guess, because as we got a lot done. It's been a couple of weeks since I posted a guitar build-off video, and we left the neck and the body in a fairly blank form. So what have we managed to do? We've taken the body from a sort of square block of wood and turned it into, I'll give you a little sneak peek, but the rest. Yeah, you'll see it in the video. And the neck was also in still quite a blocky form. I have now managed to get a little bit of shapeliness into it, and we'll see that in the video as well. I'm trying to let the images do the talking, but otherwise just enjoy the pictures. If you're interested in building guitars or watching someone who doesn't really know what they're doing build guitars, then enjoy this this video, and I'll see you at the other end. Okay, I've got no material for side dot stocks. Cool. The head's shiny this morning, isn't it? But what I have got is a bamboo skewer, but it's square, but it's not far off the right dimensions. The other thing I've got is my Dremel multi-tool spanner, which has a hole in it about the right size for the side dots that I want. So my plan is to use that and make mini doweling out of this. See if it works. Once it gets going, it goes pretty quick. It's not perfect, but it'll work for fret dots, I think. Yeah, that's worked a treat. I've got a nice neat dowel there now, and it is just microscopically over 3mm, so perfect. Okay, so before I'll show you how I'm supporting the neck. I just made this doohickey on the table saw. It didn't take, I don't know, maybe less than 5 minutes to make. Yeah, check out the video. I'll put a link somewhere on the screen if I think on. Right. The other thing I'm using is a small hammer and a block of ebony to help me seat the fret without damaging it.
Good.
Food neck?
Yeah. Whoa, that's cool. There's a bit bumpy here. See?
Yeah, so it's supposed to feel your hand around like that.
It's like a berm, isn't it? Can I?
A
It's like a
berm?
mini
Oh, a
berm.
berm. Yeah, like on your bike.
Yeah. Ooh.
You like it?
Yeah. What's that?
It's a scraper.
Oh, it looks like something that would actually go on your
Looks like
guitar.
an elf shoe. Looks like an elf shoe.
And it also looks
An elf
like
shoe?
something
Yeah.
that could go on your guitar, Dad.
Dad,
Sharp.
it looks like an elf
Sharp.
shoe.
It's not that
It
Dad,
is. Watch.
Dad,
sharp.
Dad,
Okay.
Daddy, that looks a bit like an elf shoe.
I know. I heard you. Lovely. That's
It
also.
doesn't look that sharp, does it? But it is. It's only on these edges, like
Mhm.
corners.
That's
isn't it?
right. Yeah.
So hold it like this. Like that.
Yeah. You hold it like that, and you run it through. Like that.
Cool.
You see?
Have you done it on the other side? No.
No, I'm only. This is called a belly carve.
Luckily, he's not interested.
My big fat
in
belly
doing
will
that.
sit in this lovely smooth dip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were just sitting down there. You were just sitting down.
This is an awesome sword.
Funkalunka.
Hey, this is that. Again, it's Liberon. It's wood dye. The idea is that the grain of the wood is supposed to show through, and I'm only doing this on the back and the sides. And I'm doing it quite early on because eventually I'll be binding the top side, and I want the sides stained before I do that so that I can create a nice clean edge. Hopefully it will work. I am going to go with what I got and hope that it works well. Ready? Right. Doesn't look like much on camera, but I think with the right finish over the top, I think that's going to look really nice. Awesome. Very happy with that. Okay, this next this next step is going to involve some of this stuff. True oil. It's a gun stock finish, but a lot of guitar makers that I've seen use it to some pretty good effect. I'm going to use it at the moment just to protect this, but the body will be finished in true oil as well. But for a protective coat, I'm going to thin the true oil down so it sinks in nicely. And yeah, I've sanded everything as smooth as possible to about 300 grit, and I've gone over it with a tack cloth to get away any dust that remained. And now I'm going to use this lint-free cloth to apply the true oil. You can apply it neat, but I'm going to mix it up with some just white spirit. So about 50-50, a little bit heavier on the true oil than the white spirit. Mix, 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 mix. You can be pretty generous with it, but I'm just going to rub it on like this. Another day in the shed, and we're going to put a thin coat of finish on the neck, just as something to protect it really. I'm going to wipe it off with it's okay. I'm going to wipe it off with a tack cloth. Apologies, by the way, for the camera angle the way it is. It's going to be a bit rubbish, the camera angle from now on, because my lovely tripod, my cheapo tripod, has broken. So, lesson there is buy cheap, buy twice. An old pair of pants. Yeah, let's see what happens to this grain when we get a coat of True Oil on it. I think it's going to look nice. Try and do it. I'd say about 50-50 True Oil and White Spirit. And I'm no finishing master, by the way. If you're looking to learn from someone, I might not be the guy, but I'm getting fairly decent results. The body is back here. Let me show you how the body's looking now, because it's looking nice. Boom. Oh, it's again kind of glary. I need to take some really nice photographs, because it does look lovely. But keep on keeping on. Look at that already. This is an exciting stage, putting a bit of finish on. We're not there yet by any stretch. There's a lot of work to do, but we're starting to reveal a little bit about what the guitar's going to look like. I'm just going to put the one coat on now, like I say. Oh, flipping heck. This is just to protect the neck while I continue to work with it. It's one of the interesting things about guitar building. The further down the line you get, the closer to a precision instrument you get, and the more risky everything becomes, because a slip here or there, or you drop the neck or whatever, you've suddenly got a problem which becomes pretty difficult to fix. So this isn't much of a protection, but it's better than nothing. It'll at least let me clean it off if I get some dust on there that I don't want, or a smudge from something. Protect it a little bit. So, next thing. What is the next thing? I've also spent a bit of time trying to figure out how I'm going to cut the binding channel around the edge of the top here. Ultimately, I'm going to use this flame maple binding strip all around the edge here. I think it's going to look stunning, but I need to make a neat job of it. Now, I do have a jig that I used for when I built an acoustic guitar, and cutting the binding is actually quite a tricky process. So this is the jig I put together for my little Katsu router. The idea was, or is, and it worked. It did work quite nicely, actually. It did a great job. Is that you would lower your bit through this, well, what was a skateboard wheel, to the same height as your binding strip, and then you would set the bearing so that just the edge, the same thickness as your binding strip, would stick out above the bearing. Now, you could, using the bearings to keep everything nice and perpendicular to the side. Imagine this is the side of the guitar. You can now, and using this to hold the cutter away from the top to the right depth, you can now move this down and cut a nice neat channel. That works really well. The problem I'm having, well, it's not a problem, the issue that I need to resolve with the electric guitar is that, let me just turn this over, I'm trying to be very careful with this, the bottom bearing doesn't, because it's so much narrower compared to an acoustic, the bottom bearing doesn't balance. So there'll be this tendency for the router to rock, and that could be disastrous when cutting a binding channel. So modifications need to be made. I'm going to keep the top flat, which means that if I put this piece on here, that will help me keep the whole thing at 90 degrees by applying pressure on this end, and I should be able to use this jig in the same way then as I did the acoustic guitar. Does that make sense? I don't know. It barely makes sense to me, to be honest, but that's the plan. Once again, wish me luck. Right, that's all set up, ready to cut, and only a madman would go straight onto the workpiece now. I'm going to do a test cut or two. Cut twice, cut once. Great success. The idea is you bind it first in tape, then you make your cut. I was a bit of an idiot and went cutting the wrong way on the bottom here, so I retaped and cut the correct way. And you end up with a nice crisp tape line. Now when I apply the binding and glue on here, and let it go a little bit tacky, peel away the tape, and I should have a nice crisp line. We're ready to bind. Let me introduce you to the Shed Captain Binding Bender 3000. Very high-tech piece of equipment, as you can see. Alley tubing, heat gun, clamp to a metal surface. It's about to get quite warm in the shed. The idea here is that the pipe will heat up nice and hot, and I can start to bend my binding to fit the profile of the guitar. So, let's fire it up.
money that ever I had. I spent it in good company. So fill to me the parting glass. Gently rise and softly call. Good night and joy be to you all.
Well, thanks for sticking with me right to the end of the video. Much appreciated. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you enjoyed watching and you're enjoying the results so far of the guitar. I'm really chuffed with it. I think it's going to be an epic first electric guitar build for me. I can't wait to see it finished. And the next video, we're doing a lot of finishing up detail pieces. It's going to be quite exciting before the final 6th video. Next video as well, we're collaborating with my dad, and he's the original captain. So we'll see what he's been doing in Lanzarote, and what he's been doing he's sending my way, and I'm going to be utilising that in the guitar build. It's really exciting. It's going to make this thing look epic, in my opinion. If you've liked what you're watching and you want to see some more, please like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. Equally, if you don't like it, then don't bother. And I'll see you another time. For now, I'll sign off. Enjoy yourselves. See you next time.